grab your favorite beverage. It's time for Porch Therapy with Edward Dino and Keith Villery. Edward, it's another podcast. Been a little while since we had the last one, so
a lot has happened.
You know, a lot happens every day with this craziness that's happening in Washington. I don't know where to start, but I think we should start with Epstein.
Before we start on Epstein,
okay.
I just want to remind everybody that they heard it first here on Porch Podcast that Epstein was going to be Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
He should be.
Just wanted to remind everybody.
He definitely should be. And you heard it here first. And if you want to send us anything, let us know how we're doing. It's aporchpodcast@gmail.com. And you can watch us on YouTube at A Porch Podcast. So Epstein, the House voted unanimous. The Senate voted unanimous. Trump signed it in the dark of night in a back room where everything else is done in public. He didn't want anybody to see him signing this. And so now we have the setup to where the DOJ has to make the decision which files are going to be released.
Thank God we have an independent DOJ.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to do without it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what's happening right now. And then I heard, and you don't know if it's AI or not. I thought it was AI when she started saying, new information has come, new information. It's been on her desk for 9 months. And now there's new information that they might not be able to release.
The day after the vote to release it, with the exception of investigation. There's new information.
And the new information is only about Democrats.
Yeah.
It's only about his opposition. You know, Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, poor guys.
We're not going to investigate the guy who's mentioned over 1,500 times in the
they've had 1,000 FBI agents working full time to redact Trump out of the documents.
We're not going to investigate him. A subpoena to him to come testify before Congress would be an interesting twist of events.
You know, we're going to talk about polling. We're going to talk about the 2026 election, and that could happen. He won't ever show up, but so we got all that happening right now. And Trump, before it happened, when he started telling everybody he's all for it, releasing it, he's all okay with it, and that's when he started telling Bondi, you need to start these investigations so that, now new information has come to light. And I hope that new information isn't what Michael Wolff, was it Michael Wolff, who's talking about, he interviewed Epstein. Opened his safe and showed him these photographs. What do you bet those photographs never make it out? I don't think they will.
I don't know.
I don't think they will. It's amazing that nobody else has this stuff. You know,
I think our Attorney General Pam Bondi is going to be very thorough about this.
I know she will be.
I mean,
so will Kash Patel and the other guy. There was the three. It was Bondi, Trump's attorney.
Oh yeah.
His personal attorney, and Kash that were doing the interview that said, we have more new information.
I think Kash Patel may be the craziest looking cabinet member.
Yeah, he really is.
I mean,
he's they're all about accountability. They're all about, and he's taken flights in planes to visit his girlfriend.
But thank God she's protected now.
Well, yeah. That's another interesting thing about protection. Marjorie Taylor or Marjorie Trader Brown, because when green rots, it turns brown.
How clever.
Yeah. So Marjorie Taylor now had 2 days. She comes out and says some of these things about Epstein needing to be put out to the public. And she's had death threats to the point where she has to get a security detail. Now, she's never had a security detail with the Democrats and all those crazy Democrats, But now, 2 days after she mentions Trump in a bad light, she has to get she's afraid for her life. Go figure.
Well, go figure about who gets security. When you have all the people that had were on lists from different governments that were hostile to the U.S., that were mad at former cabinet members under Trump, and former cabinet members under Biden, where he took away
their details,
took away their security.
Yeah.
But Cash Patel's girlfriend's got security.
Of course.
I mean, it's so high school. I mean, it's so juvenile.
Well, and the head of the department of whatever you want to call it today, his wife is with him. She's a producer, or was a producer with Fox, and she has a security detail, and she don't even have a security clearance. I mean, that's really
well, you should at least have to have a security clearance to get
a detail.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's amazing that the White House won't give her a security clearance. Why? There's something there.
She may have contributed to a Democrat 50 years ago.
Doubtful. So, one of the most interesting things that came out this week was that Mark Epstein, who's Jeffrey's brother, talked about some kind of email to Putin where there was something about Bubba. Not sure what it was, but it was something about Trump and Bubba, and I don't know. Go look it up, because it's going to be interesting to find out who Bubba is. It might not be Trump, but it was Trump involved in it.
Trump, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what it was. There was other interesting things that came out with Melania, where the
how about that picture of Melania that they keep putting up there?
You mean an old picture when she was a kid?
On the one where she's with Trump and Epstein, and they're looking at, oh God.
Well, it's interesting because
she's no Martha Washington, I'll say that.
The biographer of Andrew, we don't call him the prince anymore, but Andy, we can call him Andy now, of Andrew, wrote a story. And part of the story was that Melania evidently had sex with Epstein before Trump did. Yeah. So he puts this in his book. She threatens to sue him for, I don't know, $1 billion. And interesting enough, he takes it out. But he already released the book. He's already sold a lot of copies. So that book is going to be worth a lot of money if you can get that original book with Melania.
Well, I think a trial on a defamation suit would be pretty interesting, because she'd have to prove that her reputation was worth at least $1 billion.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and I think there might be a lot of other photographs that might kind of diminish the value of her reputation.
I'm guessing she's in the Epstein files throughout the Epstein files.
I think highly regarded. I bet she's.
They're gonna redact her everywhere. She'll be blacked out. But that was just another little twist.
Yeah.
But the thing about the fact that now they're going to have this investigation, it's going to keep the Epstein thing in the public's eye. There must be something so bad for Trump and his buddies that he can't release them. And so he's doing everything he can to stop the release of it.
Well, you know, like what the Washington Post or New York Times, one of them said, there might not be anything there, but Trump's sure acting like there's something to hide. I mean, is he really acting like he has nothing to hide? I mean, why the dots can't be connected between the birthday card and the, you know, and he wishes her well, and they send Jelaine off to a Club Fed, and I mean, how you can't just connect all the dots here?
You would think that a lot of those conspiracy theorists who were talking about, you know, the pizza that Hillary Clinton was running, a child pornography or child in the pizza parlor in Washington, D.C., would pick up on some of these things.
I used to think you'd have to wake up pretty early in the morning to pull one over on a conspiracy theorist.
Or even the
Democrat. I don't think that's true
But
anymore.
even the Democratic, they got some conspiracy theorists in the Democrat. I don't know. One of the other interesting things, it's Epstein first tonight. Epstein gave Bannon advice on how to help Trump. And Brett Kavanaugh. Now that fits, because Brett...
He had a little problem too.
Yeah, he had some issues. But Epstein, that late, he was still involved with Trump and the organization. And then Ghislaine's prison fires 4 people after the whistleblower leak. They don't want people leaking information about the fact that she can use the telephone. You know, it's a Cub Med.
Well, Trump wished her well.
He did.
And lo and behold.
And they think that, you know, he's going to commute her sentence. And why not?
Yeah, well, yeah. Why not
I mean,
the whole way?
I mean, I think the whole thing about this is the cover-up. You know, Nixon didn't go to jail. Nixon's people went to jail. And what threw Nixon out was the cover-up.
Yeah, was the cover-up.
His attorney general, his counsel, you know, they went to jail because, I don't know if the attorney general went to jail, but so it's interesting that the cover-up is what's going to do him in. More so than whatever is out there. Whatever is out there was before, unless he is involved in the actual. And I don't know that he was ever involved in abusing children. I don't know.
We just don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, you know.
And we won't know until...
There's no proof that he's not.
Well, that's true, too. We don't know until the Democrats take back the House and start investigating, and hopefully they impeach him and the Senate throws him out. So there was a bunch of polls that came out this week. In particular, Marist has a poll, and only 15% think Trump did not know about the abuse. Only 15%.
I was hoping to see a poll on that.
It's this Marist poll. 60% of all voters say Trump knew, but 15% think that he didn't know. And I guess the rest just don't know. You know, there's a lot of people who don't know what's going on. Excuse me. So there's a lot in that Marist poll. If you have a chance, take a look at it because it's very interesting. Some of the things are Democrats now hold an advantage of 14 points over the Republicans.
That's incredible. I mean, 14 points in a generic poll. I mean, I never remember hearing of any party having that type of advantage. They say that in 2017 it was that strong, and look what happened in 2018. I think it was 40 seat switch.
Yeah, and now it might be tough to do that because of the fact that they've had so much gerrymandering since then. But Trump's approval rating is 38 or 39%, depending upon who you look. His polls might have him much higher, but the real polls that are out there, 30-something%, 39%.
Yeah.
He's only been in for 9 months.
Yeah, he's just getting started in his decline.
It's just dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
A combined 6 in 10 blame congressional Republicans or Trump for the government shutdown.
That's amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, it's the party out of power that's not voting to raise the debt limit or approve the budget is always the one that gets the blame.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Other things, let's see, they had nearly 6 in 10 say Trump top priority should be lowering prices. Now, I don't know. What do you think his top priority is right now, besides Epstein?
The Nobel Peace Prize. That's up there.
That is a big. That's high on his
list.
list.
To be, to like bomb Iran for no reason at all, and then go for the Peace Prize.
Or blowing up little boats in the Caribbean.
Yeah. I noticed he had blown. They said so much fentanyl's coming from China. I haven't seen him blowing up any Chinese boats.
No.
So I don't know.
A combined 6 in 10 blame congressional Republicans. Nearly 6 in 10 say Trump's top priority should be lowering prices. 26% of Americans say they strongly approve of the job President Trump is doing. 26%.
To me, the most disturbing statistic that you just read is that Americans believe that the cost of living is the most important thing, and not that we're arresting people. They've arrested over 200 American citizens with no due process or any due process. We're really destroying. I mean, the planet to the extent that the Pope came out and said that creation is crying out. I mean, that everyone is more concerned about the price of eggs and their own little world than they are about the fact that democracy's being threatened. I mean, the president called up and said he was entitled to 5 new seats in Texas. He was entitled to it.
Well, you just saw that the judge said no on that.
Right, and the thing in everything that's going on today that Americans can't get past their own how much groceries are costing.
Yeah. Well, that's the kitchen table stuff.
Yeah, and that's not new. I mean, that's what James Carville said.
Yeah. What's the economy's doing?
Yeah, that was what 30 years ago.
Well, trust in U.S. institutions remains low. Now, this is part of that same poll. 38% of Americans have either a great deal of confidence or quite a lot of confidence in the presidency.
In the presidency?
However, 61% have said not very much or no confidence at all in the institution.
Mm.
So, you have only 38%, and then you got 60% who have no confidence.
Mm-hmm.
When thinking about Supreme Court, 38% of them, probably the same 38%, have confidence in the High Court. 62% have little or no confidence in the Supreme Court. I mean, 3 branches of government. 35% have either a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
That's 35%.
Mm-hmm.
65% have not very much or no confidence at all. Now let's go to the Democrats. The Democratic Party receives the confidence of 29% of Americans. So it's less, but they're 14 points over.
That's how much they hate Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 29%.
They don't believe in Democrats, but still they're going to vote.
Right.
Yeah. Only 25% of Americans have a great deal of or quite a lot of confidence in the media.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing that Trump has been very effective in doing, is trashing the media.
Right.
To the point where 25% have confidence in them, 75% have no confidence.
Yeah, but
which is so sad because Walter Cronkite, David Brinkley, I mean, those are people I grew up with. And now we're going to get into some of the other things, but with the oligarchs buying.
That's what I mean. That's what I was going to say. That plays into confidence too. There's a lot of people that don't have confidence, not because they're, have bought in all this fake media stuff, but because the fact that the oligarchs are now
are in control.
I mean, I think that's.
Oh yeah.
But the thing in all of these that you just read, Keith. Traditionally, Congress has had, 15, 20% approval rating.
Nobody likes
the president has been low. The one here that is disturbing is the Supreme Court has always had high.
Yeah.
And
it's right on par with the rest of them.
Well, it's a little higher, but it's gone down a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that changes. And I hope that the courts earn the respect. They haven't done it.
They have an opportunity to.
They have a real
They've
opportunity.
got some really good things coming up.
They have a real opportunity to.
Well, Congress scores the lowest.
20%.
20% of Americans have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in Congress. 80% have not very much or no confidence at all in our Congress and our legislature. 80%. That's overwhelming.
Well, that's always the case. But then if you poll and say they have only 20% have confidence in Congress, if you ask them about their congressman, they have. Their congressman's great.
I mean, look at Louisiana.
Oh, my God.
We got Clay Higgins, and
by the way, you sold Clay Higgins short, saying that it was unanimous in the House.
I'm Epstein. Sorry, I did. Stand corrected. Clay Higgins voted against it.
But only one.
Only one.
The only House member to vote against releasing the Epstein files is Louisiana's own very own Clay Higgins.
And so anyway, take a look at that Maris. There are a lot of polls that just came out this week. So take a look at them. They're very interesting. See how you match up with those polls. Let's take a little break. Edward, we're going to go into redistricting next, which is a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a little break. And we're back. Thanks to our sponsors. Maybe one day we'll have
Our future sponsor.
If you want to sponsor us, plant a tree.
Amen.
So, Trump appointed judge in Texas has delivered a bombshell ruling blocking Texas Republicans from using their gerrymandered maps in 2026. What? Now, surely that's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens. But and that's a Trump-appointed judge. That's not some hack out
Yeah, you know, the thing that concerns me about that ruling is that it's based on present law. And I think they're correct, based on present law, that you can't redistrict based on race. But after the Louisiana case, which is pending, which unfortunately is the linchpin of that decision, is whether they can, and you know, from whether the Supreme Court was asking questions, it seemed like the courts might be willing to allow redistricting based on race. So I think that case is on solid ground as the law is today, but we're going to wait and see. But I wanted to connect some dots here, because I think that Trump has done some things that are just show a mindset of someone that is not completely put together. I mean, look at this redistricting thing, for example, where he calls up the governor and says he's entitled to
5 seats.
5 seats. They go through these mechanizations to do this, and then it's held questionable. In the meantime, California, Virginia, possibly Maryland, you know, they would have never done this had it not been Trump.
California had a constitutional law.
And I'm going to compare that to Trump hearing somewhere about some country doing nuclear testing. So now we start doing nuclear testing, which all the experts say that our enemies learn more from our nuclear testing than we learn from our nuclear testing. And so after that, then I think Russia said they were going to start doing nuclear testing. I mean, it's a complete disconnected decision-making process, which generally has repercussions that are counterproductive to what you're trying to do. The same thing, and this is the attack on Iran. Yeah. We're not in any war with Iran. We attacked their facilities. I mean,
well, that was to help Israel.
I know, but there's a mindset there that's not completely connected to an action taken with a goal in mind, a long-range goal in mind.
It's
the same with redistricting, and it's the same with the nuclear testing.
Well, I think the quote is, "This is ready, shoot, aim." That's what he does. Ready, shoot, aim.
It's like fire, aim, shoot. I mean, you know, it's backwards. And the same thing's true with Comey. I mean, he wanted nothing. He wanted more than to nab Coney, convict Coney, and his efforts have been so incompetent.
Yeah.
So just think if it was something in the interest of the United States, that he wasn't necessarily that interested in.
Yeah.
How much incompetence would come to bear. This is something that he wants so badly, and he can't pull it off.
They are so sloppy. And the problem is that he puts people in that are just totally unqualified.
Well, all you have to do is be completely loyal to him, because the 25th Amendment says the removal from the president is initiated at the cabinet.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's got to have these.
You talk about Comey. I mean, what happened was he hired this insurance lawyer. She comes in there. She might even be thrown out because she wasn't approved properly. But She comes in there and presents to the grand jury, and the judge is like, I mean, she may be disbarred for what she's done with the
Absolutely,
Comey.
absolutely.
And so they're just sloppy.
The point I'm making is,
Incompetent.
and this is what he wants the most, is Comey. And he can't put it together in a competent fashion to get it done.
Yeah.
So you can imagine when it comes to things that he doesn't particularly care that much about, like nuclear testing or, things like that, bombing Iran. I mean, you can imagine how incompetent the decision-making process is.
No, I mean, just the they're getting ready to start a war with.
We've, was it Randy
Venezuela.
Newman said, we've whipped the mighty Venezuelan. I mean, my God. I mean, of course, this is in all, as you said before we started, this is all in his effort to get the Nobel Peace Prize. He bombs Iran and bombs fishing. He bombs
or drug dealers, whatever.
It's so disconnected.
Yeah. Well, not only did Texas have a little blip this week, but also Indiana said no.
They're not doing it in Kansas too.
And he's calling them out by name and saying, we're going to primary you.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Kansas.
And Utah
Utah Democrats
judge
picked up one.
Rejected a Republican drawn map.
And the Democrats are going to pick up a seat in Utah. I mean, he started this with no thinking through where it would go. I mean, just like the fake electors.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no thought, he was going to put forth these fake electors, and he was going to disrupt the counting of the ballots, and no follow through intellectually of where this could go. And
that was actually a pretty competent attorney, Eagleton or whatever his name was who counseled with him on that. Of course, he lost his law license.
Well,
in some state.
It doesn't work out. You can ask, that's what I was...
Well, one of the scariest things for me is the fact that the oligarchs are buying the media. And that is terrifying. And in fact, this group that's buying the Ellisons, Larry Ellison's and his kids, Sundance merged with Paramount, gaining control of CBS News. Now the new giant might gobble up Warner Brothers, Discovery, which includes CNN. Mm-hmm. So Trump is talking to them about firing CNN people because you're gonna gobble them up, and it's going to be this mammoth.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous. I think the Kimmel experience shows that the public and free enterprise come into play at some point. I hope so. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because remember, with these oligarchs, the bottom line is money.
Yeah, but they're so wealthy,
But
they can dump money on that because they're making money in other places.
Yeah, but the question is, are they ideologues to make money, or will they spend money because of their ideological beliefs? I think they're ideologues to make money.
Oh well, I think it's a bottom line.
And I think just like the Jimmy, I think that's a very small but accurate example of what will happen if they go too far with this. They'll lose money. He's
taking Viktor Orban's Hungary. That's what he did.
I know.
And they're buddies.
Yeah, I know.
So, between him, I mean, remember last time we talked to Putin told him to get rid of mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
So that's what he's working on.
Yeah, he's working on that too. Yeah. But Keith, it has not been a good couple of weeks for the president.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, things are not moving in the right direction.
No, not at all.
He's been thrown out. His troops have been thrown out of Portland. They've been thrown out of Chicago. They've been thrown out of Memphis.
Yeah.
He lost big time in the election.
They're headed to New Orleans.
Yeah.
250 of them are headed to the city.
I know that's going to be. I think that's going to be interesting, and I think having
well, you remember the lady from Lakeview? They arrested her,
right? And
Steve Scalise just made a phone call and got her released,
right? But keep in mind, you've got a mayor who's immigrant background. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's
Mexican.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, and I
don't might arrest her.
I don't sell her short a bit.
No, I don't at all. Interesting enough, though. with the president's, this is what's kind of scary because Trump is, let's see, he wants to retrain the TikTok algorithm to be more pro-Israel. Because that's the thing about this whole media thing, is an algorithm that people, I only see on my...
Right. What reinforces everything.
If you like something in the Democrat, they start sending you shit.
Right, right.
You know, if you like sourdough bread, you get all kinds of stuff on sourdough bread.
Yeah.
I got a recipe I'm working on right now, which is apple upside down cake. I'm going to make it tomorrow.
That sounds great.
It was on my... I hit like on something and whoop, it all popped up. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing where TikTok is a kid's thing. So they're going to try to indoctrinate these kids for Israel. Now, Israel, the Holocaust was horrible, but what's happening right now with Israel is horrible. And the whole idea that now we're going to try to change kids, because kids are the ones out with the Palestinian flags. A lot of them did not like what has happened in Gaza with the genocide and the things that have been happening. So, they're going to try to influence kids because these oligarchs are buying the media and are going to change the algorithms to make it more pro-Israel. And not only Israel, it's going to make it more pro-Trump. It's going to make it more pro-conservative. And I think that that's a problem. It's not Walter Cronkite and David Brinkley.
No.
It's not Aaron Burnett.
Right. But the first thing that comes to my mind is when you're saying that if you grow up in a household of conservative people, often you aren't conservative after you have your own life experiences and all of that kind of thing.
Well, there's a little bit of rebellion in there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like it. And I think it's dangerous, and we don't know what the outcome is.
My daughter watches TikTok all the time.
Yeah, well, I don't think we have to worry about her.
No, we don't have to worry about her. And she's probably why I'm getting all the sourdough, because she makes a wonderful sourdough. Edward, let's take another break.
All right, that sounds good.
I need to refresh my cocktail.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back. Thanks for taking a break with us. Let's go into some lawsuits. Have you seen the fact that
the lawsuits are fascinating?
It's an ongoing craziness.
Well, yeah, and and everybody knows that he can't go through with a lawsuit. I mean, because he will never give a deposition.
Oh, that's for sure.
I mean, he's not going to go and get under oath. That's why, what's his name? The guy, the head of Wall Street Journal, had lunch with him the day after he
Murdoch.
Yeah, I mean, no big deal.
Yeah.
After he sued him for billions of dollars.
It's all about the bluster.
Yeah, I mean, where's that suit today?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to happen, and everybody knows it.
It goes nowhere.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of him making this splash news. He sued him for this.
He's a big brute.
He's he's going to prove this isn't true, which he never kind of gets around to.
Yeah.
It's like when what's his name? The guy on HBO. Anyway, he called his mother a baboon, and Trump sued him.
Oh no!
Bill Maher. Bill Maher called Trump's mother a baboon, and Trump sued him. Well, as soon as he filed to take his deposition, he dropped the suit.
Exactly.
I mean, the whole thing it's all show.
I have seen some of his depositions, and they're not good.
Oh, they are so bad.
I mean, he takes the fifth.
Well, he takes the fifth.
Only the mob takes the fifth.
You can see his lawyers cringing. He can't help himself sometimes. And he's just getting worse with all that.
Yeah, he is.
But there's a couple things I wanted to mention about his claims, which I find just astounding. And I hope we follow his claim of $200 and some odd million of loss of claim against the United States government.
Yeah.
Because of them filing charges, or us, people,
filing
charges against something.
He wasn't found not guilty.
No, he was indicted. He was indicted, and he killed the case, and now he wants his attorney's fees paid for.
Right.
And there's a real problem there that historians are going to crucify him over.
Yeah.
But probably the most egregious, the thing that's pretty bad,
That's pretty
is
bad.
the $50 million he wants to pay Mike Flynn.
I just saw that.
I mean, here's a guy who got convicted for lying to Congress, went
He
to
pled
prison,
guilty.
went to prison. His son was the guy that came for Pizzagate, looking for the pedophiles in the pizza parlor in D.C., who's spreading this stuff, and Trump wants to give him $50 million of our dollars, monies that can't pay for SNAP benefits, money that can't go to poor people for prescription drugs. It can only go to Mike Flynn and Argentina. Now we can give some to Argentina too. We don't want to cheat Argentina. And
well, it was interesting. What was it where he gave? It was the Senate bill that gave money to the senators. Who they reviewed their
phone logs,
and they were going to give them what, $5 million a piece?
$500,000 a piece was in the bill.
In the bill.
In the continuing
and evidently the House is trying to repeal that now.
And I think the Senate will too.
Oh yeah.
And they're all trying to distance him.
Except for Lindsey Graham, he wants the money.
Lindsey wants it. We need to get into this.
He needs the money.
Yeah, we need to get into the South Carolina Senate delegation. I think it's the most diverse delegation of any state.
Yeah.
But
Nancy Mace, she's running for governor.
But, I mean, Scott and Lindsey, I think it is very diverse. But I think the fact that they are trying to distance them, they thought they'd sneak it through.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be an open shut case. They have a law that says you get $500,000.
Well, it was to reopen the government.
Yeah, right. And they put it in that. I mean, it's you wonder why only 15% of people have any confidence in Congress.
Exactly.
We need that kind of.
Well, Trump judge. Let's see. We have lawsuits. Trump judge throws out the meritless lawsuit against CNN. Although Larry Ellison's going to buy CNN, so he's probably okay with that. A federal judge dismissed the president's $15 billion defamation lawsuit against the New York Times.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, a defamation suit, it doesn't help when you only have a 30% approval rating.
And you can't run for office.
That doesn't help your defamation claim when you don't have a reputation to begin with.
And in July, Trump sued the Wall Street Journal over a report linking Trump to alleged sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The lawsuit came shortly after the Trump administration won a $16 million settlement from Paramount. I mean, they're all paying him.
This is the one you and I were just talking about, where he and Murdoch had they had dinner together a month later. No one thinks that's going anywhere. I mean, as soon as they subpoena him for depositions, they're dropping that case.
They're dropping the case. I mean, they're not even going to go that far. Anyway. There's a lot of Trump insanity going on.
Oh.
I think Trump has it's not just narcissistic personality disorder. Trump calls for the arrest of Democratic lawmakers and repost calls to hang them. Now, this is the president of the United States of America, and he's calling for lawmakers to be hanged.
Yeah, Democratic lawmakers.
And it's these lawmakers who put out they put out a calling for the arrest, indictment, and imprisonment of. He's calling for imprisonment of lawmakers who reminded military leaders to follow their oath.
Yeah, that whole Nuremberg problem. Yeah, that little glitch where you have to.
Just the idea that they came on. I saw the.
Keith, you're absolutely right, and I trace this whole thing back to the immunity ruling in the Supreme Court, that he feels like he can call for the hanging of people. He can do whatever he thinks, even though I think that would not fit under the ruling of particularly some of the adjunct
I don't know
opinions.
that that's an official act. Calling for the hanging of...
Well, it's questionable. The fact that it's even questionable is amazing.
Yeah.
But and I think his lawyers cringe constantly when he says
there's no doubt about
that. The remaining few good ones that he has.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of good ones. And then the ones he has, he's put into positions in the Justice Department and judges. You know, he made Beauvais a judge.
Yeah. No, but you know, the idea of him calling to hang,
And it's to hang the astronaut from Arizona.
yeah, and it's not just that. It's like the prosecution of Comey and Letitia James and what's his name, the guy from California,
Well, and Jack Smith.
But on suppose this is the best. So because they've overstated their assets to get loans and claim that their family, their vacation home, second homes were their family homes. Here's a guy who's been found guilty of overstating his assets, and he's not standing for this. There's a guy, he's not going to stand for people doing mortgage fraud. Oh, that man's too principled to allow that. And not only that, they have found 3 or 4 Republicans that have done more than the Democrats, and they're not. They're safe. They're home free.
Yeah,
nothing's going to happen to those guys.
Yeah, well, the DOJ only looks at Democrats.
Well, they're only patriots. They're going to let the patriots off and they're going to go after the traitors. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
We did talk about the Trump boat bombings, which, you know, seems to be a war. What do they call that? You know,
an act of war.
Well,
that you need a declaration of war.
It just seems like it's pretty horrible because the drugs are not coming from the Caribbean. It takes a long time to get from the Caribbean to the United States. And one of the issues about the drugs is we have such a demand for these illegal drugs in the United States.
That's right.
And of course, they've cut every mental health program. Mm-hmm. There's nothing we can help people who are drug addicts who need help. But let's just bomb them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no connection between your actions and the results you're trying to obtain. Just like what I'd said about the other things. You know, the thing is, in Mexico is a much better example because Mexico, we are the demand. Right now, you have in all of these are very poor countries. Yeah. So if they can make money, you know, so we are the demand. But in Mexico, we also supply the guns.
Yeah.
So not only
to the Contras, to
the horrible people. Yeah. So not only do we create the demand, but we arm the cartels, and somehow the Mexicans are the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we really want to solve the problem, we have to deal with the demand. And we're not going to deal with the demand by locking everyone up in jail. That's already been proven.
Right.
But just like you said, it has to be done with mental health treatments and the availability of drugs that can help with addiction problems. And that's not where this is headed. This is a complete, everyone else is to blame. We are faultless. We're the good guys. We're exceptional. We can bomb anybody we want.
Yeah, we'll show you how to stop the drugs.
Yeah, and it's so.
But did you see the recent thing about I don't know these cabinet members' names, but the one guy who said now we have all these diseased cows because the immigrants were bringing cows in with them.
They were crossing up. They were
they
were lifting the cows over the fence. You know,
or swimming the Rio Grande.
You know, people believe that.
I mean, but the immigrants were bringing their cows with them.
Anything bad that happens, it's either Biden or the immigrants.
Or Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's new to the scene.
Marjorie Trader Greene. So let's see what else we got on.
Oh man.
On insanity. There's more. No, there's more.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you know, I mean, he just had MBS. What's the guy's name? Trump. The Saudi crown prince.
Our friend Rick Lopez calls him Prince Bonesaw.
I call him the crime prince.
yeah. Who he's proud to be his friend, right? Didn't Trump say he was proud?
Oh, my God. He wouldn't want to bump him, but he was grabbing his hand and, you know, it was like, oh, my God.
He said, I'm proud to be your friend.
I know.
Can you imagine that?
And Khashoggi, the guy was a bad guy, the reporter.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
shit happens.
Like that ABC reporter was a bad person yesterday.
Which, oh yeah, the one.
Oh, she was bad.
She was asking the Crown Prince about,
She was asking him about why did he just release Epstein? Why did he have to have an act of Congress to do it?
Yeah.
She was so bad.
She was bad.
Oh,
fake news. ABC is
yeah.
fake news.
Yeah.
Because George Stephanopoulos.
We need their license. We need their license now.
Yeah. And he even went into detail about how his guy can cut the license.
Margaret just said and called her Piggy.
Oh yeah,
that was a different one. Yeah,
that was a different one. But yeah, he said he called a female reporter
Piggy. But I forgot the question. It wasn't the same question.
No, it wasn't the same question.
It was equally a good question. It was an equally probing and. Anyway, he's a great guy. He's the kind of guy you'd want to have dinner with, I think, Trump. Some guy you want to have a drink with.
Well, it's interesting that a lot of the people several of the people that he's pardoned, in particular the J6 people, have been
Yeah, they all get Yeah,
well, here's one that an ICE agent was arrested in sex trafficking sting. And he told the cops, "I'm ICE, boys."
I'm good. Yeah.
And it must have been a local group that arrested him because the federal group, he's ICE.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But it's amazing how many people that he's pardoned, well, they were criminals.
Well, sure. I mean, come on. How many?
They broke the law. They were beating police officers.
And if you can get a presidential pardon, if you don't think that encourages you to,
you got one.
Yeah.
What about the next?
Yeah, he's gonna cover me. I'm his child.
Well, but the next one's going to cost him money.
I wonder how much they're going for.
$1 million.
With inflation.
One lady just bought one for $1 million.
Well, yeah, I saw that. I just don't know. That's why I think inflation works to his benefit because the pardons go up.
Comey, we talked a little about Comey.
The
poor fella is, the woman that is prosecuting him made every mistake in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, really juvenile Bush League mistakes because they are sloppy incompetent, not just incompetent.
Well, Keith, the thing is with this, and like I said before, they wanted Comey. I mean, this is one of the number one things Trump wanted to get, and he couldn't be competent enough to do that. So I'm sure he's not competent enough in other national duties that he has to perform. But Comey, I'm not a big fan of Comey's. I mean, I think Comey was
Comey's the one who told Hillary.
Yeah, but I do think the fact that Comey's daughter was removed, who was very competent.
Yeah, she was very competent.
I've mentioned this.
I think he was competent.
You mentioned this. I've mentioned this before. Is what happened in Israel, where you had the most competent intelligence in the world that Netanyahu filled with just loyalists who are incompetent, like what we're doing. And October 7th happened.
Yeah.
I mean, here's this fourth-rate
terrorist conspiracy.
This fourth-rate terrorist group outflanks the best, what used to be the best.
Yeah, in the world.
And now we're filled with these kinds of people. We used to be the best.
Yeah.
But they're all leaving. Now we can't even get an indictment against a guy who threw a ham sandwich on film and an agent. They weren't competent enough to get a conviction. They could not get a
He threw a po' boy.
He threw it right on film, made him film. They couldn't get an indictment, right? So they went after him as a misdemeanor. Then they couldn't get a conviction. How many millions do you think we spent on that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but anyway, that is just symbolic of what's going on in a big picture. I mean, you mentioned just earlier about the tariffs, and maybe if you want to talk about that later, I don't know if we're coming up on that later.
I don't know if we even talk about tariffs because they're back burner. Oh yeah, we have them on the last.
Tariffs are going to be front burner.
They will be soon. But interesting enough, a couple of headlines. J.D. Vance accidentally undermines Trump while trying to blame Biden. I mean, they are sloppy.
They are so bad.
Trump accidentally stabs Vance in the back as MAGA erupts in Civil War.
Look, I mean, you know,
I mean, these are headlines.
These are headlines. And Vance, look at poor Pence. I mean, you know, poor Pence, all he did was follow the Constitution. Vance has laid himself down bent over for Trump, and he's still getting stabbed in the back.
You know, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen with 2026. And we're going to talk about this next week or maybe next time about how the Speaker of the House has a lot of power in elections. And there's a section of the Constitution that gives the Speaker of the House authority over elections and whether or not there can. It's a serious issue coming up in 2026. And you know, I mean, they're trying everything. I mean, they cannot lose the House, because if they lose
they're going to lose the House. They're going to lose the House.
If we're going to talk about this next week.
All right.
Let's see. We got lastly is tariffs. The Supreme Court heard.
Let me just say one thing about
arguments on tariffs.
When the House is lost, it's over. They're not going to be able to get anything through. You're not going to be the House is, but you'll have so many investigations into Trump. He will be impeached. Yada yada. So anyway, it'll be a whole. The last 2 years are going to be. So yeah, tariffs. Let's talk about tariffs.
Well, they say that you can't really grow bananas in the United States. So he understands that there's going to be substantial tariff exemptions on products such as coffee, bananas, and other fruit.
You know, the big deal with that is that he's trying to do something to make groceries more affordable. So what is he doing? He's repealing tariffs, which he said didn't raise prices. So his actions to lower prices is to undo the things that he said would not raise prices. So I don't know. Maybe the guy doesn't know what he's talking about. What do you think?
I think he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't think he does. You know, tariffs.
Well, I mean, just look at this week. The Swiss came, brought him a little bit of gold and a clock, and he knocked it from 37% to 50%.
Yeah, and you know we're going to keep the gold. I mean, the gold's going to be for the citizens.
No doubt about
He's
it.
not taking that with him to Mar-a-Lago.
No.
He only takes classified documents with him.
Yep. What else we got in tariffs? Trump's sweeping tariffs on U.S. beef suppliers, such as Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, and Uruguay, as well as tariffs on feed and farming equipment, have only driven the consumer price of beef higher and higher. Check out your ground meat at your local grocery.
Yeah, really.
And see what you think. And it's like, oh no, it's because the immigrants were bringing their cows across the Rio Grande.
But they don't, given the other side of the story, they were eating their dogs. It wasn't like they were causing a supply side on beef. I mean,
and I got a couple of just highlights. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in November 2025 that the reason beef had become too expensive was that immigrants were bringing their diseased cattle with them. He said that. Anyway.
You need to bomb those boats. You need to bomb those boats with diseased cattle.
They're going to bomb those cows. Democrats win another discharge petition, this time to force a vote on federal worker bargaining rights. The Democrats have finally learned from the Republicans about discharge. You know, it's like, what happened? Why didn't Jeffries know about those discharge petitions?
Well, one thing, you weren't going to get a discharge petition on Nancy Pelosi.
No.
I mean, she was just too strong of a House.
But they've gotten twice. You know,
they got twice on Mike Johnson, which I don't know that they got. And
you know, it was interesting because you know they fought Epstein. Then Mike Johnson said, "Oh, I thought the Senate was going to amend it." Well, he could have amended it if he didn't do the discharge, but he had to get forced. I mean,
Mike Johnson.
It is a shit show.
Mike Johnson is an embarrassment to Louisiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I don't know how much more of an embarrassment than Steve Scalise
or Clay Higgins. My God! I mean, because he's from Covington now. He's one of ours.
Well, his sister lives here.
He graduated from Covington High.
Yeah. So Zoran, the mayor-elect of New York City, said yesterday that Jessica Tisch,
Yeah, she was
the
staying
city's
home.
police commander, would stay in that job when he takes office.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because she and all the money that she can gather worked against him. But he's willing to work with him.
Mhm.
I think, it's still, the progressives are still not, the establishment Democrats are still freaked out
Mhm.
by what happened. But it's not only happening there, it also happened in
In Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah. Well, look, Keith, when you and I were growing up, the Democratic Party had people like Russell Long in it,
Yeah.
George McGovern, Gene McCarthy, Sam Nunn. They had conservatives. They had the most conservatives. They had the most liberals, and it was a much more inclusive party than it is today.
Yeah.
And the problem is that there is certainly anybody that doesn't believe that there's something outrageous about a democratic socialist being mayor of New York. I mean, why
New
not?
York.
It's New York. Just like we should have someone like, hopefully we could have someone like Joe Manchin being the senator out of West Virginia, but we can't do that.
Yeah.
We the Democratic Party, John
Yeah.
Bell Edwards.
It's a bit of a fight right now between the establishment and
You
the
look at
progressives.
somebody like John Bell Edwards. He is just the perfect
Senator.
national figure for the Democratic Party.
He is.
But he'll never. He
Can't get elected.
He can't pass the progressive litmus test.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, and unfortunately, even though I knock doors from a governor. I mean, that's where my heart is. But we've lost every time we've put someone up like that nationally. The country's not there. That's not where the country
Nationally,
is.
it's not. But individually, New York, Seattle.
Yeah, those places, we should accept them with open arms. I mean, we should say yes. I mean,
And I think, the proof is, this guy is going to, he's going through the whole tax the rich. I think even the whole Democratic Party.
Well, New York's the perfect place for that.
Yeah.
I mean, New York.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at the size of those buildings.
yeah. I mean, and
the hedge fund managers. And
yeah,
the people that are making hundreds of millions of dollars.
And the fact that you have the cultural vibrance of the city depends on people being able to afford to stay in their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want the whole, as John Preble said about it, with B&Bs, Airbnbs, do you want your whole neighborhood to be like a cruise ship on Sundays where everybody gets up and leaves and the new bunch comes in? And that's what all these places are fighting.
Yeah.
And New York needs to tap into the wealth that's there.
Well, and then you also have such an immigrant population in New York. I mean, that's, the Statue of Liberty's there. People came in.
I was looking at one of the filings in the Texas reapportionment case, which I didn't realize, that only 40% of the population of Texas is white.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And
that, something like, I don't know, 80% of the districts are represented.
Yeah. Well, they even said that even in the redistricting, they might not win those redistrict.
Yeah, well, there's a real danger to all that because when you start moving minorities, and look, I think that the gerrymandering for creating black seats has been disastrous.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's polarized the country. I'd much rather have 40% of the seats have 30% minorities in them than to have 40% have 90% white and, whatever, have 90% black. We'd have a much more moderate balanced Congress if we had more.
Well, now it's extreme.
It's all extreme on both sides. Yeah. And
it's primary.
That's not worked out well.
Well, we enjoyed it today, and we'll be back hopefully next week, but who knows? If you want to be on the podcast, send us an email to aporchpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you just want to have us read your note to us online, let us know.
And I just want to say, I give this shout out to all of our listeners in France. Bienvenue, mes amis.
That beautiful music is Zach Villery. Check him out on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your music.